How's it going? How are you?
Hey, Graham.
So you are going to be on Dexter New Blood.
I am?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Gosh.
I got the wrong David.
No, I think it's me. That's pretty cool. I should check my email more often.
Yeah, maybe. Were you a fan of Dexter before you signed on for the new season?
I did not ever see a Dexter episode.
Okay.
Gonna be real with you. Gonna be real. But I actually almost love it when that happens. Almost everything that I've ever done, I've never done before the thing I got. It's usually like, oh, wow, it's like this really popular thing that you're now a part of. Like, so you clearly did, watch that stuff. Yeah. Like HQ Trivia, like you played HQ, right? I was like, I never played HQ Trivia. And then I got quickly into HQ Trivia. But at the same time, I started watching the episodes and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's to be a part of something that's so special and touches so many people's lives. And you quickly learn how many people love this show. It's fun. It's special to be a part of something new, like a morning show where we're all doing this together. Yeah. It's also really fun to be part of something both old and new. So
did you watch the whole series then prior to coming on, or just watch bits and pieces? Or
bits and pieces? 8 seasons is a lot.
It is a lot.
But I try to watch the seminal episodes, like the pilot, the John Lithgow season, like the things that people say, the finale, like these are the things that that are the tent poles. And so I was making sure let me get an idea. But there's a joy to sort of my part and sort of us here in the New Blood world is like, it's a brand new place. Like only he really needs to know all that. So I kind of like not really knowing stuff because it's so new and fresh and we've never met him and we don't know anything. So who needs to know? And they're also trying to start a whole brand new series in that, like a new tone and a new place and a new location. So why do I, it's almost something I like that I don't know, I like that I didn't have to be Men in Blacked, and
So you were coming on to, it's like a reboot environment. Reboots are sort of all of the rage. You mentioned that you did the morning show too, which also I loved, but that was like new. So did it feel different coming onto a set where it was like, because I know Clyde, the original showrunners returning, and then you've got obviously some other people returning, I'm sure, behind the scenes. So how did that feel? Was it like a reunion of sorts for them? And then how was it like coming to this new environment?
Yeah. Well, first off, I would say it's a revival.
A reboot.
I know it's hard. We're not used to that word because we're like, what is that? So I'd say a revival only because, it'd probably be a reboot if there was a different guy playing Dexter. But thankfully, it was Michael C. Hall, who's pretty much one of the most wonderful humans on earth, is what I've learned in 6 months of being up there. It's so cool being with Clyde and Scott Reynolds and Marco Siega, these guys who created and crafted the show, because they love to tell you the stories. Like Clyde was more than happy to just share, this is how it started. He would tell me how this is how even Dexter New Blood came to be. There's just, it's fun to hear it right from the proverbial horse's mouth. I would never call Clyde Phillips' mouth a horse, but the proverbial horse's mouth, a beautiful mouth he has. That's so great. I live for that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing that touched so many lives and is so special for people and is such a great anti-hero piece of storytelling in our beautiful television landscape. I get to hear it all from them. So there is both, but I think they both loved bringing a bit of the gang back together. At the same time, it really felt like a restart and a refresh. Like Michael wanted that as well. He wanted that. Yes, I think there was a big reason of why this wasn't filmed in LA. It wasn't set in Miami. It was up in Massachusetts in the snow, not in the heat. I think there really was an embracing and a wanting for the newness and not for trying to do what they used to do. I think they liked little Easter eggs that you'll see of things that were, but I really think there was this embracing of hey, this is a different Dexter. And this is literally this is he's in a different place in life. And how is he going to go about life now? New.
Yeah. And I mean, I've got good news because I've seen the first 3 episodes and it feels like a completely different show. So you're on the right track there because like you said, like it's incredible how it still has that heart, obviously, because of Michael C. Hall, who is just so great in the role. But yeah, I mean, it's like completely different. It's not Miami, it's not sunny, it's snowy. I'm actually up in Massachusetts, so I kind of loved that.
Oh, great.
So yeah, you mentioned the finale of the original series earlier, and so I wondered, that was a really controversial episode, controversial ending. They're kind of rectifying that, bringing Deb back a little bit. I just wanted to know, was that talked about on set at all, or was that kind of a
was everybody just like, let's not talk about what happened there? No, I think you can hear Scott Reynolds, and because he was sort of there at the end, and he'll be the first to say like, yeah, it wasn't the greatest. Like, we did what we needed to do. We thought we were doing the right thing. People make choices and they tried. So, I think almost because, that's my East Coast coming out, because I think because I'm with you, buddy, I'm from Jersey. I think because of the not great ending and finale, it made this that much easier. I think people felt lighter. There wasn't this feeling of like, oh no, we have to be precious. It sounds like people wanted a different ending, and Clyde wasn't there at the end either, so he gets to start fresh. We're all brand new characters in this whole brand new world. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of like, oh no. I think there's a lot of like, great, we're here. We're doing God's work. People wanted us to do this show and to do it the right way and to end it the right way. So, and I know you've only seen the first 3 episodes, but I think when you get to episode 10, you're going to be like, this is how it could end. This is how it should end. This is a great end to this limited series. And I think it'll make sense. And I probably even shouldn't say more than that, but I think it'll be a good episode 10.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see the rest. But yeah, so I want to talk about Teddy a little bit because I feel like with the show being set in a small town now, you've got like a smaller group of characters, and so many times you see like these shows and movies set in small towns, and they're populated with these like colorful supporting roles. And I mean, obviously Teddy is one of those. So like, how did you approach playing him? Did you bring your own personality into it, or did you like fill in a backstory? Like, can you tell me a little bit about Teddy?
Absolutely. Teddy, well, as you know, he's 2.5 weeks into this job. So he just takes, he takes it all very seriously. He cares. He's unintentionally goofy. He's got a lot of heart. And so that's what I think I relate the most with him. He like genuinely is earnest. And so he wants to do well. He wants to impress, and he wants to like, and sometimes he takes on things that he shouldn't, and he forgets that he's only been there for 2.5 weeks. And so he could ask, I think, Logan, who Alano plays, and Chief Bishop, who Miss Julia Jones plays, probably for more like, hey, can I do this, versus like, I'm just going to do this. I'll just try that thing out. Let's give this thing. And, but I think you'll see as it keeps going too, as the show continues, Teddy, gets to kind of face some fears. And I think that's, really nice. And I think, we can all kind of relate to Teddy. If you can't relate to Teddy a little bit, then I don't know what you can, so there's something for everybody in the show. I think if you can't relate to the serial killer, then you can relate to old Teddy Reid, who's also in and out of fish out of water, trying his best, doing what he can do.
Yeah. And then I wanted to ask you about the mustache. Love the mustache. It's a really sick mustache. Was that you bringing that on? Did they ask you to grow the mustache? Because it almost reminded me of like, because you're in the morning show without the mustache. Mm-hmm. And so it reminded me of like seeing Henry Cavill with the mustache in Mission Impossible 7 for the first time. He's just like, you looked so different. Was that a part of the character? Or did you, were like, I'm going to do the mustache?
Can I first just thank you for even comparing me in any regard to Henry Cavill?
You are very welcome.
Thank you. I'll take that all day long. My mom's going to hear about that. I would say the story of the mustache is that I had it for I shot I shot an Aflac commercial with Rob Riggle and Lil Rel on the way out driving to Massachusetts. It just happened that way. I shot it. We shot it in Vegas, and they wanted me to. I had the mustache. They wanted me to have the mustache in the commercial, and it was great. So by the time I got to Massachusetts, I was like, "Well, I'll just keep it on. I don't know. I'll just show it to them if they want it. Great." And so I'm literally sitting there in like hair and makeup, and I'm like, "Do you want me to keep it?" And they're like, "We'll take a photo and send it to Clyde." And then Clyde was like, "I love it. Keep the mustache." So that's it. Nice. So Clyde Phillips said yes to the mustache.
Well, we love it.
Thank you. My wife does too.
So with Dexter, obviously, he typically only goes after the bad guys, people who do wrong. And so did you feel relatively safe in the sense that your character would probably be fine? I mean, I don't know, but
it's a lot happens in 10 episodes. You mean before I read the scripts?
Yeah, we can go with that angle.
Okay. I mean, the first question everybody asks me is, well, do you die? Are you on, do you get wrapped up in the thing? And of course I can't say a word about that. So yeah, I have no answer for you. I wish I could. Let's talk after episode 10, then I'll tell you what.
All right. Can you tease anything about the rest of the season? I mean, I'm assuming things get way bloodier, but can you tease even a little bit?
Well, there is definitely a reason, and I think you saw it in an episode, in the early episodes, why, in fact, heck, it's on the billboard, so I'm not ruining anything, but there is a reason why it's in a snow, because blood red looks pretty good on snow, doesn't it? So we definitely, as a production, take that to the tilt, and so I think that's a good thing. I think it'd be really disappointing if Dexter New Blood didn't have a lot of blood.
Yeah.
So, they literally put it in the title. But as far as what happens, I mean, I guess what I can say is, kind of like you were saying, it's a different tone, it's a different feel. At the same time, there are just expectations that come with bringing and doing that revival of a show, right? So we know that it'd be really sad if people didn't die. Like, that'd be really weird. Like, nobody died in this 10 episodes. So like, we know people will die. But the way in which it happens and how it happens and who it happens to and why it happens, I think is really cool, because you're getting a different vibe with the Dexter Morgan character that Michael C. Hall plays so beautifully. By the way, he's like the nicest guy in the world and the funniest guy in the world. And he's so unlike, he once said, like, yeah, like, I just kind of, I really do look like Dexter, like, meaning like, it's like, he's just the funny, has a lot of heart, not serial killer in real life kind of guy. But he plays it so well because he's such a good actor and he's such great focus. And I'm inspired by him. But I think the Dexter Morgan character is a different person, 10 years in, right? Later. And so everything's being approached, the way death happens in his life is very different in this limited series than the way death was. And I think that's really charming. I think that's really interesting. And I think, I think people did I do a really good job of essentially saying nothing really well?
Yeah, but I mean, that's it's kind of the point of the question, I think. But yeah, since you can't say anything else really, I'm going to shift gears just a tiny bit away from Dexter because, you know, I was looking into your fanatic podcast that you're doing, and I saw that you're a self-professed comic book fanatic, and we here at Screen Rant love comic books and comic book movies. So I wanted to ask you, if you could choose, would you rather join the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DC Extended Universe?
Oh, it's Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's not even a question.
Not even a thought.
Oh, no, not at all. So, by the way, quick plug for Fanatics. We're going to have the whole Dexter cast on.
Oh, perfect. Well,
we're going to do episode recaps at the beginning of every episode. It's going to drop the Monday right after the Sunday night show airs.
Awesome.
So it'll drop every Monday, and we're going to do an episode recap, my co-host and I, and then we're going to have on the whole cast. So Michael C. Hall will be episode 1, and we get to learn about what he loves, which I can't tell you because you got to wait for it, but it's really good. If I told you, you'd be like, that's what he loves. And you'd be like, yeah. And it's really so charming. It's so charming. And so the whole cast is on too. It's great. So it's a fun way to go along the Dexter road. Come join us. But I say Marvel Cinematic Universe because DC just hasn't really gotten it right, in my opinion. I just think they're trying and they're doing their best to figure out the humor. And I love the Christopher Nolan Batmans. But Marvel, they definitely have moments that are kind of weird and funky, like Loki. What was that? At the same time, I loved it, but I'll be the first to tell you, like, what was it? But loved it, you know? So I just feel like they at least are locking in on like characters really well and generally have a very good idea of humor. And I love that. So between the characters and humor, you can put a cape on me and next to Captain Marvel anytime.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, before I go, I've got one more question. So you've got some pretty high profile shows. You did the morning show. You were just in Impeachment as well. Do you have, I mean, like, obviously you can't tell me if you're going to be returning for a potential Dexter season 10, but do you have any big things coming up?
I have something which I don't think Anna, I don't think I'm allowed to share, correct?
Not yet.
Not yet. So I have something fun, but that's fun. I'll ask me more questions that I can't say anything about. So I have something fun coming up that I can't say anything about. I also, we're doing the Dexter series. So I'd say the big thing then that's coming up is both Dexter itself and New Blood and the Fanatics Dexter series, you know, that we're having alongside it. I'm really excited for that. We're still recording the episodes. It's really fun, and it's a great way to have as a little, oh my gosh, I love the show, I want a little more. Well, come on over to Fanatics Town.
Well, I love it. I can't wait for everybody to see it. I can't wait for everybody to meet Teddy. Teddy is hilarious when he crashed a drone. That was great. But I just wanted
hard. Drones are hard.
I've never done it. I don't know, but I would assume so.
Yeah.
But thanks again for your time. Congratulations on Dexter. I really appreciate it.